This is Talk Business and Politics with Roby Brock.
First Security is here. Only here. So that means we're here, here, and here. Even here. And definitely here. Because here is where we want to be for you. First Security Bank, only in Arkansas.
And if it is Monday, it is John Brummett Day at Talk Business and Politics. John Brummett, political columnist for the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette. Day before the big election, You pumped up? You ready to see this thing to its finality?
I'm ready to see it through to its finality. Pumped up is not exactly what I am. A little tired and weary, but...
It's been a long 4 years, 2 years of campaigning, we'll say.
It's, I was thinking on the drive over this, we've never had anything like this, and we haven't. We've had some crazy presidential races, ones we didn't know how they turned out, ones in which a guy from Arkansas was winning, but this one probably is the most remarkable of our lifetimes.
It takes the cake. Let's talk about the big development on a Sunday afternoon late.
Yeah.
A little over a week ago, we saw FBI Director Jim Comey inserts himself into the presidential race, turns it upside down in terms of Hillary Clinton's momentum. Now he's back with hey, wasn't anything in those emails that we thought might be pertinent there. Basically. It reminded you of an Emily Latellis skit there from early Saturday Night Live days. But do you think that stopped the bleeding or the momentum in the wrong direction for Hillary Clinton, or do you think that she had already kind of put a Band-Aid on that and was turning things around?
What I had seen was that she had sustained damage of a point to a point and a half, point and three quarters during the week, and that late in the week it seemed to stop. And in fact, some of the polls showed her inching up just a little. And I thought she was gonna survive anyway, at least in terms of the nationwide popular vote and in terms of the polling. But I think it's impossible to say. It's so strange and it's so late and Sunday afternoon and people don't understand it. But there's still some slack. There's some give in this in the polling, and I think she may actually have started to trend slightly at the end of last week, and this might do it a little more. The Real Clear Politics average, I think her lead got down to like 1.6 points, and now it's nearly 3. Yeah. Part of that was happening already. I think this has been an election in the last 2 or 3 weeks of who's trending up, who's trending down, and it's in her favor at the end, I think, just a little, which should be all it would take. Yeah,
it seemed to me that it took a little bit of the closing argument away from Trump that he had. Not that was going to stop him from saying some of the things that he has been saying, but it took away, I think, to a well-educated voter who was still processing some of the information. This must have been much ado about nothing.
Yeah, and he was set. He had actually been on message, and as they say, and performing well in the last few days. And this did take his closing argument away. And one thing that it might, if you believe the markets, have you seen what they're doing today?
I have, yeah.
Over 300
they're
up. Yeah, maybe, I don't know where they are
After
right
last week, they went down 4 days, 5 days. So.
It tells me that somebody sees some stability in our system and is investing accordingly.
The rigged system, John, the rigged system.
Well, they see some stability in it. This Comey thing, I think in the end we're going to find out he just did what he thought he had to do Friday a week ago, and he did what he thought he had to do Sunday. But it looks absolutely horrible, and people are saying the FBI will be hard-pressed to ever overcome this. I did a frustrated tweet yesterday. FBI withdraws endorsement of Trump, switches to Clinton, and I got nationwide retweeting of that. So I mean, because it almost seems that way,
right?
And it was, of course, I didn't mean that literally, but I meant it to show the political damage to the FBI as a result of this whole thing.
All right, let's go electoral map. Everybody likes to try to guess the numbers in terms of this. If you get to, and there's so many things out there where now you can, do your own electoral map. What do you think where do you think she hits? Where do you think she lands, assuming you think she's going to win?
You want me to give you an actual number rather than a comfortable range?
I want to hear a number. You can go range. You throw out a range, and I'll see if I can pin you down on a number. How about that?
Well, I'm going to give you, can I give you two numbers?
Sure.
Two states are going to be are early East Coast states that we're not going to see called until late, and they will be Florida and North Carolina. They're going to be very, very close. That's 44 electoral votes. I give her minimum 274. That's at the worst scenario for her, I think. And then 274 plus 44, what's that? 318.
Okay.
318 outside. That's the range I will give you, depending on North Carolina and Florida. She could split them, she could win them both, she could lose them both.
What's it going to say to you if she gets above 318?
Wow. Well, and Nevada, they say, is already in her
Right.
column because the early voting is so pro-democratic and so heavy, and it's above what.
Seeing a lot of that data in Florida also.
You're seeing that. If she gets above 318, then the Democrats get out the vote effort will be extraordinary as we think it may be, and she will have recovered and had a little trend and a bump at the end. Some people are saying as many as 320, 330, 340. I will tell you, just briefly, I just saw on the way over a CNN reporter's tweet. He arrived in Raleigh, North Carolina, rented a car, got in the car, turned on the radio, looked for the urban music station, rap hip-hop station, heard 7 straight commercials, 5 of them Barack Obama, get out the vote for Democrats for Hillary. And then when they went to the DJ said, we'll have a live interview momentarily with Michelle Obama. That's just sort of a real-life interesting example of this last-minute Democratic effort to get its vote out.
Yeah, and in
North Carolina, that's what it's all about.
Well, and in North Carolina, some of the early voting stations, particularly in some African-American precincts, have been reduced.
And so they're pushing
and that's why the African-American vote is not as at the levels where they had hoped that they would.
That will determine who wins the state. If it's significantly below 212 levels, she may not win it. But if this late push gets her there, and if she wins either Florida or North Carolina, I mean,
right,
over.
Right.
Over.
Yeah, now there's no path for him otherwise. Right. My floor is 289 for her. I said
really?
that publicly
You don't see her
yesterday.
going below that?
I don't see her going below 289, and I think if Florida, North Carolina, and New Hampshire's still a little dicey.
What's in your 289? So. Nevada, Colorado?
Yes.
Nevada, Colorado, and New Hampshire?
I've got New Hampshire in there, yes, and holding all the other blue stuff that she's supposed to.
And that's 289?
That's 289.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll see. And then 318 is if you get Florida and North Carolina in there. So, all right, let's take a quick commercial break. Let's come back and talk about some state stuff and maybe a little bit more U.S. House and Senate. He's John Brummett with the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette. We will be right back right after this.
Arkansas Electric Cooperative Corporation provides electric energy across 2/3 of Arkansas. This is an exciting time in our energy history, with incredible progress being made in renewable energy and storage technologies. As our energy portfolio continues to diversify, we'll maintain an all-the-above strategy to provide reliable and affordable electricity. Ever since the first light bulbs were placed in our members' homes, the electric cooperatives have been the solutions provider for our members, and we want to continue that well into the future.
So much of what Arkansas state employees do goes unnoticed, yet they have a positive impact on our citizens each and every day. The Arkansas State Employees Association recognizes individuals for excellence in the workplace and leadership in their communities. Congratulations to Deanna O'Malley of Texarkana, the Outstanding State Employee of 2016. We'd like to say thank you to all state employees for all of your hard work and dedication.
And welcome back to Talk Business and Politics. We are with John Brummett from the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette. All right, presidential race aside here, let's go to the U.S. We did. Yeah. U.S. Senate, U.S. House. First of all, I don't think anybody sees the Republicans taking the House.
But you mean the Democrats taking the House?
I don't see the Democrats taking the House.
No,
yes.
the margin is too big. The incumbents are too entrenched by districting. Any sort of double-figure gain in seats is significant. And we might see that for the Democrats.
Where do you see the U.S. Senate landing? It could go anywhere.
We were on the that Facebook telecast a couple weeks ago, and I said, I think the Democrats get to 49 and don't get there. I think you said, I think they get to 50, and then Kane, if he's president, is vice president,
right,
gives them the 51-50. The two we were given, this is so fluid. I mean, it's just so fluid. It's so close. the two, I guess you given them for sure, Illinois,
Yes.
and then Feingold winning
Wisconsin.
in Wisconsin.
Right.
That's now tightened up. They've
Right.
spent
I
like
still think Feingold wins.
okay. Well, there's two for sure. The incumbent Republican in New Hampshire
AI?
she was
Charlie Cook
behind.
gives AI. It says AI's going to get taken out.
Well, okay, then there's 49, right?
Right.
And so, but Missouri, then there's, well, Florida's not going to happen. North Carolina.
50-50.
So
Nevada, another one that's tight.
really,
It could be anything.
it'll be a minimum, I guess, of 48. The Democrats will gain 2. They could gain 6. They probably won't.
I've heard an interesting kind of prediction. We had Stephen Shepard on from Politico, and he said, and I'd forgotten about this, but he said typically these Senate races, the majority of them go one way or the other. You know, when we have them diced up, you know, when they could split 50-50, and here's where we leave us. And they do tend to kind of go all in one direction, or, you know, 5 of 6 go in one direction.
What people are saying about the Comey 9-day poll he cast on the election was that in the end, it's not going to irreparably, fatally harm Hillary Clinton, but it brought enough Republicans back who had given up on Trump to maybe lift a few of these Republican senators. That maybe the Republicans conceivably could hold the Senate because of Comey's influence on the race, which turned out to be a 9-day exercise in nothing. That would really be unfair and unfortunate, but that's what some people are saying will be the effect. I wouldn't be surprised. The other 50-50 would be a best guess. What do you have a guess on it?
Well, I said 50-50 early because I'm putting Toomey as my 50th in there, so up in Pennsylvania. So he loses and the Democrat wins up there. So I still think it's 50-50, but I'll be anxious to see if they all move one direction or the other direction kind of thing holds true. We saw it in 2014. We saw it in 2012. We'll see.
You know, when Bill Clinton got elected in '92, he inherited a 50-50 Senate in 1993.
I remember Al
and
Gore
Al
breaking
Gore
the tie.
broke the tie on his economic package. So we could see history repeat itself. Of course, in the midterms, he lost the Senate badly, and they're 2 years from now, the Democrats are trying to hold a bunch of crazy states that are hard for them to hold.
Right.
So
Clinton better hope, if she wins, she better hope that she gets the Senate with some sort of majority control if they're going to do the Supreme Court or accomplish.
a fix to Obamacare.
Yes, I think so.
Both those things seem
Those are the two biggies.
so far away right now, don't they?
Well, let's just get through tomorrow night first. All right,
Yeah.
let's stay here in Arkansas. Do you think, these will be yes or no questions, will Donald Trump break 60% in Arkansas?
I'm afraid so.
You're afraid so? What are you afraid of?
I'm just afraid of going outside in a state that would give 60% plus of its vote.
The last
to,
several presidential cycles, going back to 2000, George W. Bush got 51. In 2004, he got 54%. John McCain, 59%. Mitt Romney, 60%. Donald Trump takes a Republican Arkansas higher than 60%, I say.
There was some theory that Hillary Clinton, having lived here and been First Lady here and having the name of Clinton, would stop that trend. Obviously not. The
Not gonna
polling, your polling and the Arkansas poll, she's not going to get to 40, which means somewhere around 60 plus
Does
for Trump.
Senator John Bozeman beat Donald Trump's number or fall short of Donald Trump's number? I'm assuming he wins.
Wonderful question. I don't know. But you're going to force a prediction out of me. I think because of the red truck, he falls a little short of Trump. What do you think?
I'll go along with that.
I had
I think he falls about 2 points behind wherever Trump
You may
winds
have
up.
gotten the same invitation. I got an invitation from Connor Eldridge to go riding in the red truck just to see the public reaction to it. And I'm sure it was good. People loved the red
You
truck.
and I should take him up on that, and we should be in the back of the truck on those podiums.
We should.
The podia back there. So.
But I fear that people are loving the red truck but not connecting it to anything they're going to vote about. So I say Trump will outpoll Bozeman. What do you say?
Yeah, I think Trump. I think Trump's about 2 points above where Bozeman winds up.
Yeah.
All right, all 4 congressmen win re-election in Arkansas.
No kidding.
Let's go to the issues here. Issue 1, extending terms for county elected officials from 2 to 4 years. Win or lose?
Loses.
Issue 2, the governor gets to keep his powers and duties crossing state lines.
Passes. People see sense in that.
Issue 3, the Job Creation, Expansion, and Economic Development Amendment.
With a name like that, it's got a good chance of passing.
I think so too, with a name like that.
Yeah.
Issue 6, medical marijuana, the biggie that we'll all be watching on. Give me your blunt assessment of that one. You see I worked that in there?
Oh my goodness. My blunt assessment.
Pass or fail?
I think it's polling consistently around 50. I think it's going to run better than it polls, because some people won't tell even a robot that calls them, yeah, I'm for it. I think there's a very good chance, a better than even chance it passes.
I think it passes too. You and I are not going to be in big disagreement on some of these.
Well, if
We're either going to both
we're-
look really smart, or we're going to both look really silly.
Oh, we're both going to rationalize our mistakes.
John Brummett with the Arkansas Democrat Gazette.
That
as
it? There's nothing
always.
else?
That's
Okay.
good. You're good.
All right.
All right. You're going to come back and do some post-election analysis with us the day after, right?
I will stand accountable for all these predictions 2 days from now.
It's on tape. I
right.
appreciate you very much, my
You bet.
friend.